Alright, so here are the welding stations. This is station 1, 2, 3, and 4. That cart goes to station 1, this cart goes to station 2, this cart goes 3 and 4. Okay, when you're done at the end of the day, the welding station should look just like this. The poles should be facing in this way. All of your work pieces should be on top of the cart, and none of the welding torches should be hooked up to the computers or at the little welding units. Okay, I'm going to show you kind of some of the basics on how to use the machine. First, you power it on here. It's going to take a second. And I'm going to go in and start getting this part ready for my work pieces. Okay, you have 5 different work pieces. You have this one, which is the pipe and pipe, which means you're welding 2 pipes together. You've got the pipe and plate, which is supposed to simulate welding a pipe onto a plate, as you can see. Very simple. You've got, this one has 2 names. This is the lap joint. You can see how the pieces overlap. So the lap joint. It's also the bead on plate, which is what we're going to use to do most of our practicing on initially. So that all bead on plate means is you're just making welds straight on the plate, not in between 2 joints. Okay? And then we have right here the T-joint. And then here, this is called the butt joint. And it's really because you can imagine like this being the butt crack, and that's the butt. So you'll remember. And this is supposed to simulate welding 2 pieces of metal together like this way. Alright? So in your drawer you have your owner's manual. You can look through this to see how to hook up the different kinds of welding. Right now, you got the stick welding in this top drawer. Let's see, there's nothing in there. Here's the TIG welding, and here's the MIG welding, which this is the one I think is easiest to start with, so it's what we're going to start with. When you get logged into the screen, you're going to go to Guest. Okay, just select it, and you're going to select whether you're right or left-handed. So I'm right-handed. Okay, and then you can go to your 3 different types. Okay, GMAW is MIG welding, GTAW is TIG welding, and SMAW is stick welding. You can look at this. The GM has the M, so M is MIG, GT, T, TIG. This one starts with an S, so just think stick. Okay, it's an easy way to remember it. Select what you want to. I go there, and I'm going to go to Open Exercise. Now, I can go to any of these, and these are some pre-built little lessons, and there's also some little PDFs here about that you can go through and read about while you're up here. So if you didn't want to go back to your computer and look at the resources I have for you there, one of these days it will open. But you can go through here and actually just straight read. It talks about the safety, table of contents, and it'll talk about just all the general stuff about welding. Okay, but we're not going to go into that right now. You can do that on your own. We're going to go back to Open Exercise. Okay, select Beginner. All right, so we're going to go, instead of doing the T-joint, lap joint, butt joint, pipe, plate, joint, pipe, we're going to go down to the bead on plate. Okay, this is going to be the easiest way. Right here's the different positions. So what does this mean? 1G is like this. There's a little document for you that you can find that states this. Okay, 2G is going to be like this, where you're going across. 3G is going to be like this, where you're going up and down. Okay, and then 4G is upside down. It's the hardest. Okay, so but we're just going to start off with a 1G until we get comfortable. Okay, so you can adjust these by loosening these little bolts here, and then put that in like that. And tighten it down. Okay. Alright, and I want this down comfortable. I like to think like I like it about at my belly button, maybe a little lower. It's where it's comfortable for me to work at. Starting out. When you're actually, okay, so come over here. After I select my position, I'm going to select the kind of material. Now this represents the kind of material that this plate's supposed to be. So carbon steel is really strong steel. Stainless steel is like what they use for medical stuff. And aluminum is really light. So these are all kind of things used in industry depending upon the application. Do you need it to be strong? Do you need it not to rust and be clean? Do you need it to be light? Those are the metals on what they kind of, what the basics on what you're using. Once you select it, it's like carbon steel, you select the thickness. Okay, 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch. I'm gonna go with, let's do 1/4, why not? Okay, so this is your filler, and ideally in a welding machine you have a filler running through this cable and it comes out. When you press this button, it starts pushing that filler out, and that filler, there's a chemical reaction with the electricity, and it'll actually melt, and that's what puts the metal out onto the plate. Kind of imagine that filler as being like the hot glue in a hot glue gun. It's like the stick. It's like that's what goes out. Okay. So I'm going to select that, and now this is the diameter of my filler. So think about if I was using like the hot glue gun as an example. Again, that's like how big the glue stick's going to be. The bigger the filler, the more material is going to come out. So depending on what kind of welds you're doing, it depends there. Okay, so I'm going there. The gas, there's two different kinds of gas, CO2, argon CO2. Don't really worry, you can choose, you can kind of play around with both and see what you like most. I'm going to go and use the argon CO2. Okay, so right here, it's going to say 4 passes. Okay, for your first assignment, you have to do 3 different kinds of welds and make a score of a certain height. Right now I have it set at 70. I might change it depending on how students do later. But all right, so my first pass, I'm going to do straight, I'm going to do continuous, and I'm going to do drag. So here's the difference. Drag is when you come back this way. Push is whenever you go from here and go forward. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, my second one, I'm going to do a circular pattern here. Okay, and I'm going to do continuous, and I'm going to do drag. Okay, my third one, I'm going to do, let's do zigzag, continuous, drag, and my last one I'm going to do straight, continuous, and I'm going to do push. Okay, so right here, this tells me all my parameters. So if you look here, you can actually use this information, the material you're welding on, the thickness of it, the filler you're using, and the diameter and the gas. You can put this all into a welding calculator and it'll tell you exactly what your voltage, your amperage and feed speed, and gas should be. Okay, and I'll have a link to that. There's actually one in Blackboard right now. Okay, so first step, put on your welding helmet. You can adjust it back here. Alright, I'm going to put it on. Okay, tighten it up. Okay, you want it pretty tight, and you want to be able to there, bring it up, and I'll hold up like that, and you can bring it down whenever you're working. So right now, it's telling me to look at my workpiece. So first, I actually need to plug this in. You just match up the holes, and then press in, and then screw that little thing. This won't push in, you have to screw it in. So you just kind of get it lined up and then start moving that little piece. Okay, so I look at this and I press the AR button. Okay, this is actually a little dirty. Okay. Now, where you stand when you weld makes a big difference. So I'm going to move this out a little bit. Because it's going to make it. And you always want these pretty tight, because if they're not very tight, if you put pressure on it, they'll move on you. It's really annoying. Okay. So for a drag, I kind of want to be standing behind this weld. Okay. So I want to be coming this way. All right. And there's a few different things that you need to worry about. So first, we got to get our voltage up. So whenever it's in the white, that means it's in an area that will work. Now I'll let you know there's kind of a little cheat here that you can do. So you can play with your voltage, or not as much voltage. You don't want it up too high. Let's go around 20 volts. Okay, I'm up my feed speed to about there. Gas. I'm not sure exactly what the correct is supposed to be right now, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But as long as everything here is white, it's good to go. If none of these are white, one of them's red, it'll tell you error when you try to start welding. Okay? So, now I got those set. I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to show you something. So I need you to go and start videoing the screen real quick. Okay. Okay, so if you can see right now, there's this little circle around here. So if I go here, it's telling me that my angle is wrong, and I need to go more to the right. If I go this way, it's going to tell me there. So I want it green. Right now, it's saying I'm holding it too low this way. I need to hold it up higher. Really, you want to be like straight up and down on this guy. Okay? So, like that. You guys see what I'm saying? So see how that circle is green? That means I'm holding the right angle. Now this bottom part right here, that means if it's above it, that means I'm too high. If it's below it, means I'm too close. I want to try to stay right in the middle. Okay? So, oh, it just looks like it's wanting me to go this way with it. Alright, so I'm going to move this plate right. Well, there's not even really a good spot in this position. Alright, here we go, right here. Okay. So I'm going to come straight up. You can adjust the zoom on this if it's too close or too far away. Okay, I'm going to start. I want to stay in between the yellow lines, and I want to stay at the same speed as these blue arrows that are about to pop up. So I'm not in between the yellow lines. There we go. See, I got too far away and I had to move it closer. You have to watch the arrows as you're doing this. I'm messing up already, so. Alright, there we go. I really recommend holding it with two hands, not one. And you will get tired after a while, so if you need to take a break in between welds, do it. Okay. See, that first part of my weld is a little messy, but the rest looks pretty good. I think on beginner mode it already does it for you, but you can hit clean slag afterwards. Whenever you're welding, there's a lot of like kind of hardened, crusted metal that you just need to hammer or scrape off. That's all that does. Okay, so the next one is a circular pattern. Okay, so I'm going to move back up, in position. I'm going to try to go through these real quick. So now I'm moving in a circular motion. I'm trying to stay within these yellow lines and with the same speed of that blue. Okay. So there's a lot of things to watch for because I just got too far away. I got to watch my angle. Those are all the things that's going to be grading you on. And so if you're not in the green most of the time, you're probably not going to get a good grade on when your weld's done. Okay, there's my weld. Alright. So now I'm going to hit clean slag again. Okay, I'm going to start the next one. Try to get these done quick. So gotta get my angle right, get closer. And I'll tell you, my arm's getting tired. Like, you might want to switch off with your partner between welds. Just remember which number you did and which one they did. Far ahead. I'm just going to go quick because I'm getting tired. But you'll see my score will drop because I'm going too fast. Whew, my arm's getting tired. Okay, so there's that. Similar to the circular weld. Clean slag. And the last one's just a push, so hopefully I can knock this out real quick because my arm's getting real tired. Once again, just notice how I'm staying inside the yellow lines. I'm staying at the same speed as the blue arrows. I'm keeping my distance in the middle on that dot. I'm trying to adjust my angle and keep a high enough angle. Whew, my arm is sore. Alright, so weld complete, clean slag, and it says hit the cancel button. So I hit the cancel button, I go to view results. Saving the exercise. Okay, so this is my first weld, and you can see my score here. This would have actually been good for my final. So your work angle, that's like how you hold it like this, okay? Your travel angle, that's how you hold it like this. I'll tell you, like the travel angle, I kind of mess up more so than other ones. The CTWD is your distance, basically. It's how close or far away you were. Okay? Your travel speed was how fast you were going, that you were staying with those blue lines. And then your aim is that you stayed within those yellow lines. And so right here, these are like the optimal levels. So I can see where I went out. So it looks like my distance, I got to, I can't tell if it's close or far away, kind of at the beginning of my weld. And I kind of got it right afterwards. Okay? If you go to some of the harder modes, it won't give you those little graphic things to help you weld. You have to just learn how to do it on your own without it. Second weld, the circular, where I was going in a circle. Okay, same thing. I did pretty good there. Okay. Third, this was the zigzag. I really messed this one up at the beginning, but yeah. But you can actually see the zigzag patterns and how it moves. Okay, and then fourth. Alright, so my travel angle was a little off, and I noticed that it was off while I was doing that. So that was the up and down one. I kept noticing going to red. I kept holding it a little too low this way. I need to hold up a little higher this way. Okay, so you can kind of learn and correct yourself to get the score you want. Now for your first assignment, or for all of your assignments, you have to get, right now I have it a 70 or higher in all categories. Okay, and you have to do it on 3 different kinds of welds. So there was a straight line, circular, zigzag, and then there was the push. This was a drag. Okay, so that's your first assignment. Okay, and when you're done, just cancel, exit. And you can also go back and view the weld. I probably should have shown you that. Maybe I'll do that in the next video when I show you how to do the TIG welding. Alright, thank you.